I recently made the switch from Google Analytics to another analytics platform called Fathom. Now, I'm not going to go into a long explanation here about why I made the change. If you're interested in more, I'm going to include a link in the description to my website where you can read more about the reasons why I left Google Analytics. But chances are, if you're watching this, you're at least thinking of why Google Analytics, particularly GA4, is not right for you. So I want to introduce you to Fathom. I'm going to put a link in the description as well to this where you can, if you're interested, get $10 off your first month at Fathom. It is, just to get started, a paid solution. Fathom is not completely free. It's $14 a month for 100,000 monthly page views. And if you need more page views, you can pay for them. So it is a paid alternative. I'm sure saying that will instantly kill this video, as most people will probably bounce off of it, seeing as it is not a free alternative. Google Analytics is free for a reason, and I'm going to go into more of those details on my website if you're interested. But in this video, I want to show you how to use Fathom Analytics, how you can try it yourself for free for 30 days, and see if it's a good alternative for you. It is for me. So right on their website, again, link in the description, you can click View a Live Demo. And I'm going to walk you through this demonstration of how to use Fathom, what Fathom offers, so that you can kind of get a feel for whether or not you like the aesthetic and you like the simplicity of it. A big part of why I like Fathom is because it's generally all your analytics that you need for a generally smaller site without the need to bounce around to 50 different sections, view dozens of different reports, have to digest insights instead of numbers, or use a massively complex enterprise class software for simple website metrics. I like that this is simple in one page. So to get started, you have your metrics at the top here in this section at the top that kind of give you your at a glance. How many people on your site? How many visitors hit you in this time period here on the right? How many views did those visitors make? How long do they spend on your site, your bounce rate, and your event completions? What I like about Fathom is the page being simple. It's a one-pager, but things that you interact with narrow things down and filter and show based on what you want to see. So if, for example, if I click on bounce rate here, you can see that the graph has instantly updated with a bounce rate line. I can click on it again to remove it. I can click on average time on site and notice that the dot next to the metric that I'm wanting to see has a color associated with it. In this case, this is a pinkish color and it has added a pinkish line. If I turn back on bounce rate, you have that brighter blue. I can uncheck those, and I can even uncheck the views to just see my total visitors in this time frame. Let's update that time frame. Instead of just March 21st to 27th, let's change that to the last 30 days. And now you can see we have a graph here that starts to paint a picture and tell a story. If I were running this website, I would wonder why my visitors cratered from 50,000 down to 17,000. But here we can also see views, and again, add any metrics here that we want to see at a glance represented on this chart. Let's go ahead and just leave on our visitors and our views for a moment, because we'll come back to those, but I want to show you this people on your site. If you're like me and you have a generally smaller site, I don't really have 118 people on my site all at one time unless there's something big going on, but I do like to see what people are up to. So if this were my site, I could click on this, and now you can see, first off, the number updated in real time when I clicked on it, but here the graph disappeared and I'm being shown a section with pages, how many people are on them, and where those people came from under the refers section. So in real time, I can see that there are 38 people on a homepage and so on. Now with the same idea of clicking on what we want to see more on, what I like about Fathom is how easy it is to drill down and to see some metrics. So I'm going to scroll down and let's take a look at this pages section. I can click on any of these pages to drill down. So let's say I clicked on this blog post. Now clicking on that blog post changed all of this page. If I scroll back up to the top, notice here a filter section has appeared, and we're just looking at the path for this blog post. Now the numbers up at the top have also completely changed to represent just what's being shown in this filter. And if I scroll back down here, you can see here's the page we're looking at and the refers for this page. I can scroll down and see things like device type, browsers, countries, and down even further, events and UTMs. I'm going to record an entirely separate video all about events and even another video all about UTMs, because I think that if you're going to use Fathom, you're going to want to know how to use these, and they warrant a specific video for those that are interested in using them. But for now, let's look at what this looks like with some data just to give you an idea. I'm going to clear my filters, And I'm going to scroll back down to this section here where we can see events and UTMs. There were none for that blog post, but there are some for the site in general. Events are custom actions. So in this particular demo, we have a PDF download, or a mailing list signup, or a purchase. And over on the right, we have the associated data with each of them. There were 95,000 people who downloaded the PDF in this time range. It converted at 6.6%, and no value was assigned with it. Contrast that with an event created to track merch purchases. 73,000 purchased it at a 5% conversion rate, and that was worth 1.5 million euros or so. Similar to events, we can track things that are happening on our website based on people coming to the website through what are called UTM parameters, or links with UTM parameters on them. You may have seen this in the past where you see something appended at the end of a URL like $UTM underscore campaign equals, in this case it would be Reddit-AMA, ampersand, or the and sign, $UTM underscore source, so on and so forth. UTMs are designed to track external links coming in from other locations to your website so that you can track information on where those people came from, whether it be a social media post or an email or something external from your site. A common mistake that people make is they use UTMs on their own website so that they can track a button click and get data on things that are happening on their own site, but that's the wrong use case. That can actually mess up your analytics pretty badly. You don't want to use UTMs for internal linking. Those would be page events. We'll dive into the mechanics of making and using both events and UTMs in another video, but I do want to show you how you can use the dashboard here to look at these and read them inside of your overall analytics. So let's start with events. I'm going to go back up here, make sure we don't have any filters enabled. Let's go ahead and click on PDF download. Now, clicking on the PDF download has filtered this to show how many people downloaded the PDF. Up here at the top, notice we see now the completion metrics for it. And if I scroll down, you can see that all of those events, all of those completions happened on, in this example, the home page. That's what it means when you just see a slash. And scrolling down, you can see where UTMs come into play. We can see that through this UTM link, or links tagged with campaigns, it came in through, at least 9.5 thousand of them, came in through a link from Reddit, apparently for some AMA that was completed. So we can see here the campaign was the Reddit AMA, the source being Reddit, the medium was social media, the content was the AMA, and they didn't have a term on there. So I can now go back up and I can, or I don't have to go back up. It's nicely good UX here right at the top. I can clear that filter and I can look at another event like the mailing list signup. On the mailing list signup, again, in this particular example, all these happened on the home page. I can go back here and I can clear the filter and I can look at the merch purchase. And this demo site, again, just had one page. All the merch purchased came off of the home page. But if this were my site and I were creating events, I might have different events for things like this particular merch was purchased off of this page, and so on. Now here in my own dashboard, I want to show you how I've set it up where I can have multiple domains. I use a primary domain and a subdomain. I've added both into the same dashboard using the domains feature that I'll show you in just a moment as we go to set up an example of Fathom Analytics. But what I love about having these multiple domains is that I can choose to view both of them impacting my site, or I can choose to just click on one and have just the single domain affecting the site. And what I really like about Fathom is that just with a click, I can choose to apply a filter and only see what is coming in through one of those domains. I can clear the filter again, and I can just go to my primary domain, and now I'm only looking at my primary domain on my analytics. Really, really nice, because then I can just flip over to the Pages tab and I can see particular pages, or go back to domains, clear my filters, choose to see just my subdomain, go to my pages, and now I can look at what pages people are looking at within my subdomain, which is where I have all of my courses and my membership. Okay, let's walk through setting up Fathom. This is super, super easy. So you need to go to the website. I've included a link in the description. Again, if you go through my link, you're going to get $10 off your first month, which makes, if you look at the pricing again, the first month would only be about $4 for you. That's pretty fantastic. So go through my link, get your $10 off, start a 30-day free trial. There's Literally, you have nothing to lose if you're interested in swapping out of Google Analytics. And assuming you've made it this far, I think you probably are a little bit interested. And let's show you how to get this set up in just a couple minutes. This is the back end of Fathom. It's super simple to get started. On the left-hand side, you have your sites, you have things like email billing, referrals, account, dashboard, etc. Dashboard, you can see the back arrow. That's how we go back to seeing the analytics. And sites is where we get started adding sites to our dashboard. Remember, for the $14 a month, you get access to 50 different sites. They all just share the total number of page views on the account. So let's add a new site, show you how easy it is. Go ahead and click Create New. And let's add a site. I'm going to call this my demo site because we're going to install it on my demo site. Click Create Site, and they're going to give you a site ID and a tracking code that you can embed, or you can choose where you're going to be adding this. If you choose WordPress, for example, they'll let you know that there is a WordPress plugin that you can download. Super easy to use. You can just copy your site ID here or here, take it to the WordPress plugin. If you click the link, they'll take you right there, and you can enter it in. I'm going to show you, in my mind, an even easier way, particularly if you are using something like Thrive Suite that I'm using. And I'm just going to go back to None, and I'm just going to copy the embed code. And now I'm going to go over to my demo site. Okay, watch how easy this is with Thrive Suite. I'm going to go to Thrive Dashboard and click on Thrive Dashboard. I'm going to scroll down until I find Analytics and Scripts. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click Add New, paste in the script that they gave me. I'm going to call it Analytics. You could call it Fathom Analytics, whatever. For the placement, I'm choosing before the head tag, and I'm going to add it to Thrive Themes and landing pages. Basically, that means it's going to be on everything on my site, and I'm going to click Continue. Make sure both of these are toggled on, and you're good to go. I like doing it this way because at a glance, I can see what scripts I have installed on my site. If you're not using Thrive Theme Builder, you're not going to see inserted in Thrive Themes. It's only going to be on your landing pages, which is not good enough. So if you're like my wife's website, she doesn't use Theme Builder, she uses Cadence. We don't install it this way. All you have to do is go to Appearance, Customize. And if you're using something like Cadence Theme, you'll see a section called Custom Scripts, where you can drop in your tracking data right here into the section that says Add Scripts into your header. But again, you also have the option just to install the WordPress plugin, drop in your site ID, and it's super easy. I will show you that as well. Under the plugins section, search for Fathom, hit enter. You'll see here, Fathom Analytics. You just activate it. Then on the left, under settings, Fathom Analytics, you would enter in your site ID right here, and then check if you want to track administrators or not, and then click Save Changes. And that's it. Now coming back here, if you just installed the script in the first method that I showed you, go ahead and click Verify Site Code. Now it's waiting for traffic to be on your site. So since my demo site has nobody on it but me, I need to go and ping some traffic to it. I'll go ahead and I'll go to my basic demo. I think this is like a course page or something in Thrive Apprentice, something very basic, but I'll ping some traffic to it. Then I'll go back to my other tab that I had open, and there it is. The tracker's installed. Great. Go to dashboard. All right, now you can see, look at that. My demo site in the upper left with one person on the site. Let's click on that. Sure enough, they're on the home page because it's me. And there we go. It's starting to automatically, in real time, always real time, collect and update analytics. That's one thing I like about Fathom over Google Analytics. It feels like the data takes forever to get instantly updated, and the real-time tracking isn't very good. In the upper left now, I can click on this and I can see the 3 sites that I have: my main site, my demo site, and my wife's website. I can close that at any given time. I can also click View All Sites to see a nice dashboard. This, by the way, works fantastic for agencies that need to add multiple websites in there, like all your clients, so that you can keep track of those. It's something I'm thinking about doing, is including Fathom Analytics with all of the websites that I manage. Now, we need to continue to set up. So that was, technically that was it for the initial setup, but I want to walk you through the back end here. In the top right, we can get there by clicking on this gear. So there we are back inside of our dashboard, and let's go ahead and click on our site that we just set up. And now we can enable certain settings on a site-by-site basis. The first one is the default settings. So we have a section called site sharing, and by default, sites that you create are completely private. Only you can see them. But let's say you set this up for a client, or you wanted to share the analytics with a business partner. You can easily just click Shared with Password, And they're going to show you the URL that you can send to somebody to view those analytics, which you could easily put into a URL shortener or do a redirect, do something like pretty links. And then you can create a password and share that with your business partner or your clients or whoever you want to share your data with. Or you can share it with no password, which I don't recommend. Next is the domains section. Under multiple domains, you have the ability to, this is what I showed you earlier, combine your different domains on your site all into one. So if you had a support, let's say like a support platform where users could go in and add tickets, or like a knowledge base that was something like support.yourdomain.com, you could enable this and you could add additional domain options. And what's neat is that you can take the data of the user and choose to combine that or separate that. So just like it says here, we offer two options to establish unique visitors across multiple sites. Combined means we count each person, a unique visitor, as one visit across all domains. And separate means we count each person uniquely once per domain. And again, it doesn't matter there because you're not billed based on unique users, you're billed based on page views. So your 100,000 page views are not being eaten up anymore either way. I've chosen to combine mine. I want that user to be a unique user on either of my domains, but you may wish to separate them. And down here, if you want to change the name of your site, like I named mine, what did we name ours? Demo site. I could change this to something else and click save. And that's going to be what's included inside of the dashboard, email reports, and monitoring. So if we scroll back up, we do have a section called Firewall where you can block pages on your website from being tracked. I don't know how particularly useful this is, other than if you just had a page you didn't want to track. If you have one, you can just add that and block it. You can also block IPs. Sadly, they are currently doing maintenance on this literally while I'm doing my demo, so bad timing, but anything I entered in there is actually already still being blocked. So let's say you had someone spamming you, somehow you got their IP address. You can block IPs, stop people from chewing up your page views or just being tracked if you want to. And if you're getting a lot of, by nature, this is pretty good at not tracking bots. But if you wanted to block visits from other countries, this is where you would do it. Pretty easy to do. You choose here, you find the country you want to block. Like, let's say I wanted to block all those people in Canada. I would click on Canada, click add country. And now, sadly, Canada is not being tracked. Just kidding, Canada. You're being tracked now. Now, under allowed domains, I really like this section because technically people can, you've seen this before in your Google Analytics, people are like injecting data into it and they're tracking stuff on their site through your site because they added your Google Analytics tag to their site. It's horrific and awful, but we can avoid that by clicking here and only seeing data when the script fires on our own website. So if this were my site, Convology.com, I would put stuff like www.convology.com. I'd put Convology.com, and then just for fun, I'd put like an asterisk dot Convology.com to allow all of my subdomains to work. And that's how you could add yours so that you don't run into any issues with bad actors trying to insert data into your analytics that aren't from you. This way you 100% know that your data is from your site. All right, next up we'll go to events. And I'm going, like I said, I'm going to do an entire video all about events because this is like the bread and butter of measuring and managing your analytics. They do it so much better than Google Analytics. So that is going to be another video that I'll link not only in the description, but I'll add one of those scenes at the end that you can click and watch more videos. You're going to want to watch that video. But basically, the gist of it is you add events like a button click or a form fill or a page reach. Like for example, let's say that I sold courses and I had a confirmation page. I could call this, or membership. I could call this like membership sold or something like that, membership sign up. And my currency is dollars. So I'll leave it there. You can select your currencies here, or you can say this is not a transactable event. This is instead, let's just call this a newsletter sign up. And someone signs up for our newsletter. We click create event. And now we have an event ID, and I'm going to go into all of this inside of my events video, but suffice it to say, you'll create events for everything. You'll get the tracking ID, set the value, and so on. Let's jump over events now and go to the monitoring. You get free uptime monitoring. So you'll be able to see if your SSL expires. You'll be able to see if your site goes offline. Super easy. You just click enable uptime monitoring and you can enable the domain here that you want to monitor, and then they'll notify you if there are issues, and you can choose the frequency, when you want to get notified, and you can choose basically, do you want to get a text message? This alone is so awesome if you, one, are running a high volume business, and if your site goes down for 20 minutes, it's a end of the world situation, or if you have clients that you're managing, this is so, so cool. So there it is, monitoring. And then under manage, you can export your data, you can wipe the site data, or just simply delete it all. They're super big on privacy at Fathom and making sure that you own your data, you're not tracking specific things about people, that you're doing everything above board. You're not giving your data to a company that's going to sell it and inform their advertising. You don't need cookie banners because there's no cookies. This is pretty cool. All right, now we're in the emails tab on the left here. Under the emails tab, you get free reports. You can get them weekly or monthly, and you can create new reports all the time. And in here, you could say, I want to send the reports to email address. You can send these to your clients if you like. You can send them to yourself, your business partners, and you can choose what sites to include in the report. So if I were sending this to, let's say, one of my business partners for our SEO agency, I would probably include all my sites that I had for our clients. And then I would say, let's send a monthly report, put in their address, my address, choose the sites I want to include, and click Save Report. Pretty cool that all of that is built right in. All right, and that's all I wanted to show you for the overview of the Fathom dashboard and getting Fathom set up on your site. Again, I have at least 2, probably 3 more videos coming, all about how to do UTMs, events, referrer links, which is something we didn't even go over that I'm going to dive into with you. And if you're interested, link in the description, save $10 on your first month, totally worth it. And again, free 30-day trial. I'm going to end this video by simply saying it's probably not good for a big enterprise business that uses WooCommerce with tens of thousands of SKUs and cares about tracking literally 1,000 SKUs worth of data inside of their analytics. It's just not set up to do that right now. You could create events and fire off all those events, but I think it's too cumbersome for massive e-commerce businesses. However, if you have a blog, if you have a site like mine, where I have right now no more than 20 products, very easy to track those with events, very easy to set up all the tracking. This is tailor-made for a business like mine. I get a single report, I can see the data that matters, and I don't have to fuss with GA4 or any of the insight-based reporting or something that is just clearly no longer built for me. So check it out. Curious about what your thoughts are. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Reach out if you have questions. And again, be on the lookout for those other videos. You're going to want to watch them.